record your message, press 2. Accept the recording and sorry, but pound is not a valid entry. To listen, message sent. Goodbye.
Hello, everybody. This is Kurt Roskoff. I'm here for WorkAbility with Neil Weber and Tim Terosian, and we're going to have a great conversation about all the accommodations, accessibility, and all the planning that goes into making the most of your career. We're going to combine that blue-collar approach and everything on inclusion, accessibility, getting people with disabilities, and everybody working, helping everybody live up to their ability to work. This is WorkAbility. Take it away, Neil. What do you have for us today?
Well, I thought we talked about we didn't talk about last week. Do we have Tim on the show? It looks like we lost him.
Yeah.
Oh, you're there.
I'm here.
Yeah, I thought we'd continue on with what we talked about last week. Maybe we could continue to broach that subject.
Okay. All right. I think that's good. I think that we can segue. What's a famous way of saying things? My head's not quite straight today. It looks like it's leaning. I don't know if that's a Zoom thing, or I'm holding my phone, or I'm holding my head wrong, or anyway, I have a lot of spare time on my hands. I thought that discipline might be something, and friendship. Like,
okay, let's explore those two subjects to start off with. Discipline is certainly key in work. The ability to, number one, show up on time, be responsible for our duties, and be willing to take on additional tasks are certainly three key elements of discipline that we need to approach.
What's the third one again?
Making good use of our time.
And take on tasks?
Yeah, taking on tasks, yes.
Excellent, just excellent. So what we forget, and what I'd like to remind, and anybody that's listening, is what we forget is people do things for people that they're comfortable with. Now, you can be family, or you can be a really good friend. But the more of these connections you make, and the better quality you make, and over time, could make you quite a successful person in so many ways. So usually we might consider that a career. Let's say you do something better than most and you make a career out of it. Well, you develop connections. You develop friendships that become like working relationships that become there's a good word for it. Okay, where am I going with this? Neil, my alter ego. Where am I going with this?
I think you're talking about working relationships. You're talking about relationships that can be experienced through work, and I think that's what you're talking about.
If you're famous for something, let's just say the expression, if it's something that you love to do, it's not work. But if you love to do it, you get a following, you get fame, you get known for that. This is like something. It's something that you can rest your career on. Maybe you don't ever become financially like wealthy, but let's say you're famous for something. You have a working relationships with many people, and so what happens is you're never short on. You always have money because you can always rely on this talent that you have, or the talent that you have and the working relationships you've developed from the talent. And what you said was just correct. Showing up on time, the ability to do tasks, master a task. And I just expanded it a little bit. I just said, I'm repeating myself, but the working relationships turn into a talent, or vice versa. The talent turns into a working relationships. You're known for doing something better than most people are known for doing it. And people, by word of mouth, they know to refer you. You get repeat businesses. You get repeat business from people. They may want you 10 or 20 times in a lifetime. And they refer you to other people. But repeat business might be called residual business, maybe. There's, repeat is a great word right there. So for every job you do, you may get 10 or 20 repeats for that job. And it kind of depends on the kind of work it is. People want you there for a reliable. I know a pest control guy, he gets phone calls. He does the same property every year for 10 or 20 years. In the summertime, he has that business. I don't think he's wealthy, but he has a wonderful job because they keep the bugs away. He keeps the bugs away. And every summer he has for a half of a year, he does their work. So, and I think we're moving quite well with this subject. I mean, not too slow, not too fast. What do you think, Neil?
Well, I think that's important. I think when I was working for the Church Bulletin Company, there was a gentleman named Jim Brown, and Jim had been working there 20 plus years, and he went to the same territory every year, and he was able to be very successful because he had built working relationships with other people, and was able to expand on those relationships and produce good results from working with those individuals. He worked with church secretaries, and these church secretaries would look out for him and give him business and allow him to prosper and try to have him and his family prosper from the different relationships he had with the church secretaries.
I think that's a great. I think that's as good an example as we're going to get. If there's a church secretary and you work with that person, and word of mouth, churches have hundreds and hundreds of members. If one person gets their work done, the word goes through the church and through the church secretary, I guess. I'm guessing that, hey, yeah, this is a member of the church. He does a great job. And then the church secretary gives the number out, the email, whatever. Yeah, of course you can you just tell her, yeah, of course you can send people my way if they ask for my kind of service. I don't know if a better example. So and then my niece was talking about critical thinking. Well, yeah, every business you should attach critical thinking to it. Like, what are the pitfalls of each kind of business? But it doesn't hurt to like to do something. And I think where people mess up is they're like, you have to be friendly in your business. You have to try and find out what your customer needs. Now, of course, they need your service, whatever kind, pest control, whatever. But I think you go a deeper level and find out, what is it about this customer where I can attach myself emotionally? Like, where they think of me, they have a nice warm feeling, like, oh man, I want to give my business to that guy. I want to refer him. He did such a nice job. Or maybe he brought a toy for my kid. Or my uncle used to bring candy to his customers and hand out lollipops, Tootsie Roll Pops. People are emotional creatures. So I still think there are some. Well, I'm just saying I don't still think. I know there's some businesses that where repeat business is very, very strong. And we've taken the subject very, very good in the last 10 minutes we've been talking. We've
About
done
15,
a really
yeah.
15. Like what do you want?
Yeah.
Neil, what do they want from us? We're doing such a good job. So
Yes.
yes,
I think the key issue is building relationships, building rapport with people so that you have that level of trust. I think trust is everything in a relationship, and I think that's what the key element is in this in business is trust. And I think that's very important in working with others is building trust with them, and I think that's very important.
Yeah, trust. Yeah. So so trust. Yeah. And it seems like a lot of business people, they're very conscious of the fact that they're in control of the relationship. That okay, it's a business relationship is different than a different. It has a specific. There's parameters to it. It's not a business relationship is not like, say, a love relationship with the opposite sex. A business relationship is not like school. It's not like a church. It's not like Boy Scouts. It has they have very specific behaviors. If you're the owner of your business, you know what these are. Over time, you get to know your customers, but you get to know what attracts customers. I think I said that a couple minutes ago. What is it like? A stockbroker would make sure he knew the happy birthdays of his clients and wish them a happy birthday. Okay, but there's certain things that just like when you walk into a factory, there's just with your customers, they're your customers. When you walk into a factory and you do your job, there's a lot of behaviors there that are very important. Things to do, things not to do. But when you own your own company and you're representing your service and you're representing yourself, there are things you just do not do, right? Like, there's things you don't say, right? You get what I'm saying, Neil? Help me out here. Neil?
Yeah, I'm here. We had a siren. I had to mute the phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have those right at the moment here. We're kind of on a main street here in Verona, Wisconsin, and we have sirens all the time. We live in an elderly building, so there's a lot of people here that get sick, need to go to the emergency room.
Sure.
But what I was saying was, that when you represent your own business, you're constantly promoting your business, and at the same time, you're promoting yourself.
Right.
And it's not so much the service you provide. I think you said it. It's trust. It's the character that they perceive in you. Oh, yes. If they're talking about a job that you did for them, oh, he's a wonderful guy. He is so reliable, and his price is reasonable, and you can work with him. He'll work with you, right? I mean, so
Right.
many of the issues are about price, and so many of the issues are about other things too. When he leaves, he cleans up after himself. He works fast. He does a really good job. All these are things that you want your customers to repeat to their to their friends. So when you're working in a factory, yes, you want to do a good job, a good quality job with quality products. And when you own your own business, it's the same thing. when you own your own business, everything about your business reflects on you and vice versa. Everything about you reflects on your business. I've been around several business owners, as I'm sure you have, Neil, and they take pride in all aspects of their business. You know, they show up at the work site. They do the work, and they leave. They charge a customer. They bill the customer, and so let me say, what are the most recent businesses that I've been looking at? Wedding, wedding, wedding gowns and e-bikes. I live in a area that's getting more wealthy every minute, and I think e-bikes would be a huge success. But I also like the wedding gowns business, and I have to apply critical thinking to that. Maybe someday we'll discuss what that is, with our audience. Anyway, Neil, help.
Sure, of course. Well, I think we have to follow our interests, and I think the key issue is where do our passions lie? I think the core issue is if we find our passions, then we can provide income for ourselves and our family, and I think that's so important. And I think if we're following our passions and providing for our families and allowing that passion to drive our business. You said wedding gowns and e-bikes. What about those two items is your passion?
Yeah, and I don't know if I could just learn how to stutter here. It's not, to me. It's not so much what is it that you're doing for the customer, it's how you do it. It's, would they like you to continue your service, or can they perceive of another company doing it better than you do it? So, and is it a matter of price? Okay, well, I'll work with you. Hey, somebody's doing it for less, I can match that. You want to keep the customer. The another thing I've learned is it's 10 times harder to get a new customer than it is to keep the one you have.
Yes.
And my uncle used to have a board, something about the customer. I forgot. It was 10 things about the customer. The customer is always right. You keep these, the customer is always right. The customer is always, there's something about the way you treat your customer that puts you in reverence. But you're there for them. Your job would not be your business would not be a business, and this is what business owners know. It would not be a business if it wasn't for the customer. It would not be a business if it wasn't for your most loyal customer. It's not a business just because it's a business. It's not a business just because you do something better than anybody else. No, no. There's always somebody that can do the job just as good as you. The only reason it's a business is because you have loyal customers. The customer is your business. The customer, their existence is the reason why the business exists. Your particular customer is the owner of your business. They're the boss of your business. They run your business. If you're a business owner and you think that you're in charge of everything and you run everything and what you say goes all the time, you will not stay in business for long. I'm paraphrasing, right? So
sure,
that's a concept that I grew up with. I think I participated in some family business, and I think in the family business, you get a special treatment. You get a special dose of, it's ingrained, like, something you learn about. Anyway, I've talked plenty, Neil. I'm sorry.
That's fine. What's your family business? I didn't know
Well,
you
it
had
was a
one.
oil delivery, like for oil,
Great.
like mobile. What's a big one today? BP, like those companies. And we would get the oil delivered in a truck and in barrels, and sometimes and 55-gallon barrels, and you have to move those to a customer. All you do is you take a dolly and you get it on the you put the oil barrel on your special oil dolly. It's a special connector for those of you who know what these things look like. It holds a barrel at the top. A special connector holds a barrel at the top, and it's really heavy to move a 55-gallon barrel full of oil. These things are like, I don't know if they're 500 pounds. It's extremely heavy, and you roll this onto a truck, and you're looking at 50 barrels, oil barrels, and you drive to a place and you deliver these. You drive up to their dock. For those of you that have been in a factory, you just drive up to a factory dock, and you wheel it off and you put it where they say to put it. And your job is done. You bill the customer. So that was the oil delivery business. I learned a couple things about it. I was not a big part of it. I was a little kid. I was 10 years old, 12 years old, and there's things to do. But on a personal note, Neil, I think it's time we get you a house. Get you your own house.
That'd be nice. Yes.
I don't know. Does that hit you the right way? Yeah.
Yes, it would. Yes.
It's time. It can be done in Milwaukee. There's ways. The properties are, well, I don't know if anybody knows Neil lives in Milwaukee, but there's ways to do this. And I think a mortgage, I think you can somehow include the repairs in there too, if you need.
Sure.
But yeah, and then maybe have a garage or build one if you need one, or you don't have one. And because I think I'm getting into this business again, the real estate business myself. And I have a particular talent at finding houses for people and making them affordable. So anyway, this is a chance we get to talk about this. It's just a gorgeous day here. I'm so relaxed. My friend passed away yesterday.
Sorry to
I've
hear
known
that.
him for I've known him for 20 years. I went to his house. The doors were locked, and I just had that feeling. It wasn't that complicated. I called the police and so forth.
Yeah.
Right? So he passed away after knowing him for 20 plus years. Loyalty. He was good for his word. Good friends. Sometimes get into disagreements, but we never let anything get out of hand. And I was the authority. He didn't know very many people. He had family, but he wasn't very close to anybody in his family. So I was family. The police looked to me as when they had questions, they came to me, and they're getting it all together. But so
that's good.
Yeah.
Listen,
what
we
a
should
day.
probably close for today.
Yeah.
Close for today. I've got mass to go to, and I need to get to mass. But
Okay.
we'll talk next week as well.
Looking forward to the next. Yeah. All right.